Hello again. Until a few years ago, the word hate was just used in ordinary conversation and denoted nothing other than a mild dislike of something, as in, I hate vegetables. Then it was co-opted by the left and began to be applied to people who might feel slightly irritated by immigration or were not overly keen on ostentatious displays of homosexuality. They were accused of hating people. Nobody uses the word these days except in a political context, and then it is only those on the left who use it. One doesn't hear people in real life saying, I hate black people or I hate lesbians. I'm intrigued by this, for I am myself sometimes accused in the comments here of hating various people or groups of people. What I find really weird is that I've knocked around with plenty of gay people and lesbians, as well as black people and other ethnicities, and never ever been accused of hating them, not by them anyway. This accusation is only ever levelled at me by white heterosexuals. Does anybody seriously think that I hate black people or that I hate gay people? I was prompted to think along these lines today when I was stopped in central London by a guy whose family came here from Pakistan many years ago and is seemingly a great fan of mine, a great fan of my videos. It's true that most people who stop me in the street because they recognise me tend to be white, but there are also black people, Indians, and today a Pakistani. Or I should say he's British. His family came here from Pakistan when he was small, but I mean, he's as British as I am. He told me that he'd made a YouTube video himself, and I asked for the title and give a link to it in the description to this video. I do this because otherwise people will surely start trying to claim that he's an imaginary friend of mine or something. I've invented him. You can see him in the video, to which I give a link. We spent about half an hour chatting and found we had a lot in common. For example, his uncle and my father both fought in Burma during the Second World War. My father, by the way, spoke Urdu as well. He spent a long time in India in the army. It was an excellent conversation, and this guy's as patriotic as I am. I asked if he thought any of what I said in the videos was racist, and he laughed. This set me thinking because, of course, the line taken by those who comment here and express their dislike of me is that I'm a racist madman who hates anybody who's not British. But a real Pakistani who watches my stuff a lot doesn't think anything of the kind. Curious, no? This business of constantly accusing those who think a little differently from the accepted narrative these days of hating people is something devised by white people rather than members of ethnic minorities. I'm not at all sure of the purpose of all this because racism was fading away in this country by the millennium, and one hardly ever heard people express even mild dislike of anybody based purely on skin colour and ethnicity. Since then, it's as though somebody or some group has decided that the fear should be whipped up that the country is full of people who hate black people, Muslims and gays, and that without all kinds of ferocious new laws, the country would be a seething cesspit of hatred. My feeling is that this has not been done for honest purposes. I think that racial prejudice might well have faded away by now if everything had been left well alone after the year 2000. And I'm pretty sure that if the policy of mass immigration had not been initiated by Tony Blair's government in the late 1990s, then this is what would have happened. Racial prejudice would probably have vanished by now. Anyway, it was reassuring to meet the Pakistani guy today because his reaction to my videos tells me that it is white liberals who have a problem with me rather than black people or those of South Asian heritage. This is, by the way, also borne out by emails which I receive. Again, most of them are from white people, but many are not. A Sikh who's keen on my stuff contacted me out of the blue and offered to pay for some proper equipment, like a camera. I refused, but was grateful for the offer. Then there are Africans, like the Eritreans, who got in touch to thank me for talking about Tigrinya and their culture, and of course an organisation of Khoisan people. I'm happy for white liberals to dislike me. It is when members of ethnic minorities ever start accusing me of racial prejudice that I will sit up and take notice and start asking myself if I'm doing something wrong.